There are enough and more indications that a leadership change in Congress's Kerala unit has now become imminent. The main reason being a revamp by the party ahead of the local body elections due later this year, as well as the crucial assembly elections in 2026. At the center of it is the current president, K Sudhakaran, whose replacement hinges on the fact that he is unable to motivate his colleagues in the party, owing apparently to his ill health. Initially, Sudhakaran seemed to accept the High Command's order and said, well, it's up to the party High Command to take a call. They can remove me or not. What's the problem if they want to remove me? Whatever decision they take, I will obey it. I don't have any complaint. But later, when several names began doing the rounds as his replacement, Sudhakaran said how some quarters in the party had cited his treatment at the Mayo Clinic in the US as disqualifying and sought his ouster. He went on to justify his good health by letting people know that he works out daily for an hour. Sudhakaran, of course, has had support from party veterans like Muralidharan, Dr. Shashi Tharoor and Ramesh Chenintala, who feel any change at this juncture is kind of risky. Meanwhile, Congress leaders V.D. Sadisan and K.C. Venugopal are reportedly pushing for a change of guard. They believe the party needs fresh leadership to take on future challenges. But you know what? It is not just about Sudhakaran's ability or inability to carry out as the state unit president's duties. It's also about the correct religious representation. Therefore, the two names which are doing the rounds as replacement for Sudhakaran are Anto Antony and Sunny Joseph, young Christian leaders which many feel will have a positive impact on the party and the people of Kerala. A Christian, preferably a Catholic, as the state Congress president. It is felt that may stem the slow shift of Christian votes towards the BJP. So will Sudhakaran survive the revolt within his own party? Let's discuss. Rennie Abraham, senior journalist, is joining us, and George Kaliavail who's the editor of National Affairs, Deepika Daily newspaper. He's joining us on the phone line considering he's traveling in Kerala. So maybe he can tell us exactly what is going on. Rennie, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. You know, there has always been factionalism in the Congress unit of Kerala. But of late, we heard how Sudhakaran and Sadisan were both saying we are both friends, there is no factionalism, nothing has happened. This change for Sudhakaran is out. It's like a bolt from the blue because, like I read out in my initial comments, senior leaders of the central leadership feel that they need new blood to be infused. What are you hearing on the ground, Rennie?
Well, Sudha, as we all know, Kerala has been very distinct in its political landscape, which underwent a slight change only over the last decade. Till then, it was always 5 years for the Congress party to rule the state, followed by the next 5 years for the Communist Party to take charge. It's only been over the last decade that we have seen a coalition formation with the left as well as the factions ganging up, and that is how the left has been able to rule. Pinarayi Vijayan has been at the helm for close to a decade now. Now, with this elections looming in the next year, there is a lot of reorganization that's happening at the ground level. It is true that a lot of Christian voters are slowly, like you said, drifting towards the BJP even over aspects that have been, like the Waqf land issue that has, plagued a village of comprising 400 Christian families and 200 Hindu families who feel vulnerable. And we have seen those developments in the ground level. What is important to note here, as I find out, is that the BJP has started, kind of queering the pitch for the Congress party, which is expected to do much better this time round, keeping with the tradition of Kerala politics.
All right.
It is keen to queer the pitch for the Congress, even offering tacit support to the Communist Party of India.
All right.
As I'm
All
learning
right.
at the
Yeah. George, welcome to the show, George. I want to know from you, George, that, is it, first of all, explode the myth for me or confirm it? Do you think the Christians are moving closer to the Bharatiya Janata Party? Because you and I were on a discussion right here on the South Indian, the show where we discussed this. Sometimes they say, yes, Prime Minister Modi has made all kinds of efforts, it's not worked. Sometimes they say it's working. First of all, let's talk about it. Are Christians moving towards the BJP?
So that is a question it should be answered by the voters, But there is a trend, pro-BJP trend happening in Kerala because Christians in general are angry with the Congress and CPM because of so many other reasons. Because Christian community has got so much of issues to be tackled with, especially on minority reservation issues and others. It all goes to one community and Christians are ignored. That's why there is an issue. And in Congress, earlier the Christians, a majority of the Christians are supporting UDF, either Congress or Kerala Congress. But now things are a little bit changing that all Christian leaders in Congress either faded away or died.
All right.
Like Oman Chandi.
Oman Chandi, yes,
K
that's right.
All leaders. There is no clear leadership from the Christian
So
community.
therefore, George, if what you say is correct, then you think Sudhakaran will go and Anto may just come in, or Sunny is the what we are reading in newspapers. One day they say this. Tell me, George, you know Kerala politics like no other. Do you think Sudhakaran will be shown the door?
As of now, there is no decision yet. Even today, there are some discussions going on whether they should have a change in the leadership before the Grama Panchayat elections, and the assembly elections also are coming next year. So that, to be prepared, a young leader should come. There are some health issues for the K Sudhakaran. Now, because of this issue of all Christian leaders faded from Congress, from Antony to Karnagaran to K C Joseph to so many others, so they all either left or being sidelined or not active in the politics. That is why they thought of bringing in a Christian leader. The majority of the Christians are Catholics. That's why they thought of a Catholic leader.
But then there is, I'll come back to you because Anto apparently is acceptable, but his family has links with the Pentecostal. Therefore, there is a bit of a problem there also. I'll come back to you. And there is also Syro Malabar Church, which is very, very strong. Rennie Abraham, I want to come to you and ask you, tell me something. Shashi Tharoor recently said everything is not okay within the party. I'm just talking about that aspect of Dr. Tharoor where he said there is a vacuum. If they get Sudhakaran out and get a young Christian leader in place, Sudhakaran has one major advantage, and that is that he is a grassroots leader. He understands Kerala much better. That's what age sometimes has an advantage. As against Sunny Joseph or Mr. Anto Antony, who are younger, do you think it will boomerang on the Congress, Rennie?
Well, Sudha, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that if you look at Kerala politics over the last few decades, the power center has invariably, as far as the Congress is concerned, rested with the bastion of Kottayam district, if I may put it that way. You had A.K. Antony, who was a chief minister, a Roman Catholic chief minister who hails from Kottayam. You had Oman Chandi, who was the erstwhile Congress chief minister of Kerala, of the Congress, who also hails from Puduballi and Kottayam district. So what you point out very crucially is about the lineage of the religious lineage of candidates being considered, particularly about the Pentecostal aspect.
Yes.
Will not be a great political, able to create that groundswell for the Congress party. So you're absolutely on that it would have to be somebody from the Roman Catholic or the Syro Malabar Orthodox Syrian Christian community that the Congress may be looking at. because they want to bolster their Christian vote bank. And leaders like who could have been, I mean, AK Antony's son, Anil Antony, unfortunately joined the BJP.
Right.
Otherwise he would have been a surefire candidate to be in the zone of consideration. Likewise, Oman Chandi has made it very clear a few years ago that he had turned 80 and he no longer wanted to pursue active politics. But that Kottayam factor, as the mainstay of the power base, for years in the Congress, is certainly something that will be playing on the Congress mind. And as I pointed out to you, because the Congress is also fully aware, right after Shashi Tharoor sort of made a claim for the post of head party there.
Right. George Kaliyavil, let me come to you, George. I mean, tell me about Sunny Joseph and Anto Antony, because the latest also what we are hearing, you are there in Kerala, so you are better informed. He said there is a problem with Anto Antony as well. Because like when he said that the right matrix is not being formed, the fact is there are a lot of other Christian denominations which are dominating the fact, and Anto might not make the cut. What are you hearing, George?
Now, both Anto Antony and Sunny Joseph are my personal friends. I was just talking 2 minutes before this talk to Sunny Joseph. Anto also, we had a long-term friends. But I should tell you that this is, though Congress decided like they wanted a Syrian Christian leader to be the next president from the Catholic community. But even today, Deepika, which is the mouthpiece of the Catholic Church, has came out with an editorial very clearly saying that Catholic Church has no interest in determining how many ministerial posts or party positions should be allotted. They are saying that, the editorial very clearly saying that, more important than the sharing of posts is the non-discriminatory distribution of justice. What matters is not the face of the party president, but the secular character of the party. What matters is not the dominance of the chief minister over the party, but the commitment to the constitution. This is what the Deepika editorial says today. Deepika, is the mouthpiece of the Catholic community in Kerala. And Deepika is very clear that nobody can claim that church backing any political leader. There is no backing like that.
But then the thing is that Sudhakaran going could be because of his non-performance, and I mean, I'm sorry, but apparently has health issues. But why is it that a faction of the leadership within the Congress unit in Kerala want a Christian to lead it, because it will bring the Christians back into the fold of the Congress, which means some kind of a political capital, George? I mean, throughout the church influences or any other, I mean, you have akhadas in Uttar Pradesh which influence elections after all, George.
First of all, Sudhakaran completed almost 4 years or more. And, the elections are coming. The age and his health issues are making an issue. That's why Deepak Munshi, after consulting with others, recommended for a changeover in Kerala. But they have to take into confidence Mr. Sudhakaran himself.
All right.
That has never happened. That is the problem with the
All right.
And if they wanted a changeover,
all right.
they need to take into confidence.